Hi everyone, how are you? My name is Marla, and I want to come on here and talk about critical race theory. Okay, a critical race theory, as opposed to 1776 report, is a load of crap, pretty much. I tried to get into law school many moons ago, and I was prevented because of affirmative action. Now, the light isn't very good because the sun is not reflecting. So let me make sure. I think that's better. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Now, I didn't get into law school, and I couldn't use affirmative action because my family is white from Cuba. Okay? My family originally came from Spain. When they left Spain during Franco revolt, a revolution, and they went to Cuba around the 1930s, I think, or 1920s. I think it was 1920s. Don't get me, I don't know dates. But anyways, so from Spain they went to Cuba. From Cuba they came to the U.S. Okay? Now, I tried to go to law school. And I did go to law school, just not what I wanted. But I think I got the best education and at the cheapest cost. Now, from my understanding is this. They want, critical race theory just wants to talk about things. They want to talk about Columbus. He didn't discover America. The Indians, they were all brutally murdered. Black people were enslaved. But they want to forget. They want to erase history like that. And they want to reinstitute their version of history. Okay, it is very wokeism. And as a Latina, I'm going to say it's woke. Because if you look at our history, equal protection and affirmative action and reverse discrimination, which is affirmative action, doesn't start appearing until the 20th century. We didn't have education, public education, until the turn of the century, 20th century. Okay? It wasn't until 1857 that the school movement started appearing in America. Before that, people were tutored. They were educated at home. They were taught to read at home. But then the NEA was founded in 1857, and it got together with a bunch of educators, and they formed a movement to create a school system. Well, the school system, since the inception of the school of public education, our kids have been on a downward sloping decline towards illiteracy. Okay, in the 1920s, another movement came around, and it was the look and say, or the word method movement. This movement claimed that, we have the better method for teaching reading. Well, that method was contested by the phonics movement. And up until 1940, the phonics movement had curriculum, and they still taught phonics in schools. And then in 1940, our government eliminated curriculum phonics curriculum from our education system. So phonics was being taught by those who knew how to teach it still. And then in 1950, the debate came back. And then around 1984, they eliminated phonics from our school system. So today, the reason we have a rise in special education, the reason we have a rise in dyslexia, the reason we have a rise in kids who can't read well, functional illiterates, is because they're not being taught to read. Okay? So they want to call systemic racism. But systemic racism is part of the Democrats' platform. They're the ones who created the racism in America. They're the ones who eliminated phonics. They're the ones who were the progressives of the 20th century. Yes, there are some Republicans in the 20th century, like Teddy Roosevelt, and who else was? I can't remember who else. There was another progressive, but Teddy Roosevelt was a progressive, and he won in the early 20th century, and he helped the early progressives expand the government. Woodrow Wilson was terrible, and he was the one who it was under his administration that influenced laws to create the entitlements that we see today, Social Security and healthcare. And then FDR took it a bit further, and he got elected 3 terms. Okay? But he expanded the government a little bit more. And he declared war. He was the one who did the internment camps for Japanese. His Green New Deal created a bunch of entitlements. Anyways, the Democrats were the ones who implemented the Jim Crow laws. It was a progressive movement, not the Democrats, but the progressive movement. The progressive movement has been embedded in the Democrats since the turn of the century. So, what was I going to say? So this critical race theory really flies in the face of equal opportunity. Because rather than having equal opportunity for everyone and having us all try to get into law school or whatever, we can't get into law school because the law school LSAT requires someone who can read well. And we don't have a society that can read well anymore. 70% of adult Americans make low-level inferences. Less than half of all high school students read proficiently and don't even have a background in history. So one of the key problems to getting into schools and getting into college is the very fact that a lot of people can't read well enough to do well on the exam. Take me, for example. I mean, I did horrible on the LSAT, but then I had to compete with minorities using affirmative action to get into law school. And I couldn't use that. What am I going to say? My parents came here and they were racially discriminated against? No. Cubans came here and we were allowed in society. And we created Miami. So I couldn't use it. I would be lying. But affirmative action is reverse discrimination. And critical racism is affirmative action on steroids. Because it puts everybody on equal footing rather than, and everybody, and people have different skill sets. They have different talents. Not everyone is going to be at the same level. Some people are going to be good at math. Some people are going to be good at... But everybody should have a basic foundation, which they're not getting in our education system. We haven't been getting a good education since the turn of the 20th century. No, since World War II. Sorry. Pretty much. 1950 till now. Yeah, you could say that we haven't had the best education system. And all the equal protection clauses and laws started around the 1960s. And it was because around 1890, they started discriminating against black people, and the Jim Crow laws and segregation. It all started around 1890. There were like over 40 black people in Congress after 1865, the Civil War. And by 1890, we had one person in Congress. We didn't have any more black people in Congress until 1920. When Coolidge got elected, 1922, whenever a Republican got elected, we had one black person in Congress. It wasn't the Republicans who were discriminatory. It has been the Democrats. And until they face the fact that they're the ones creating these dumb laws, we're not going to change. And until black people and us Hispanics rise up and call out this fraud and open our eyes, we're not going to change. Because the Democrats are the fraudulent ones, and they have fraudulent idiots in Congress. Not all Democrats are idiots, but the vast majority of those who are in Congress nowadays are idiots. They're morons running managing our government. Why do we keep on electing these morons? Beyond me. But that's my spiel on critical racism. I believe in the Constitution. I believe in our history. I understand their history. I know that our founding fathers, America is not racist. Our laws may have been racist, starting in 1890. And we had states who were being a little bit discriminatory and didn't want to end slavery and were being racist. But America is not racist. And now I highly recommend you get this book at Amazon. It's really inexpensive. It's under $10. So buy this book. Everyone needs to buy this book because you need to understand the foundation of American history, and it really provides a really good foundation of what is America. Our constitutional principles were based on truth, the truth of the matter that our Creator created all men equally, and that all people are equal and have inalienable rights that come from the Creator, not the government. Government cannot give you your rights. Your rights come from the Creator, whatever Creator you want to believe in. And we got to understand our foundation, because our foundation is beautiful. It's great. And we're the best country in the whole freaking world. And our founding fathers were brilliant. Signing off. Please support me and buy some books for your kids. They're the best books in the whole entire world. K4699.myubam.com. Buy some books today. And if you really, really love them, please host your party through me. I would appreciate it. Introducing your friends and your family to Osborne Books and More. Thank you. Have a great day. And if you are daring enough to be your own boss and you think you could make some money, extra money, selling really good quality books and inspiring kids to learn and being part of a literacy movement, please join my team. I really need people who believe in literacy and have a passion to get kids to read books and fall in love with good books. Thank you.